Before we begin, let us take a moment to bring our hands together in veneration. Our teacher, our guide, he is the fountain of loving kindness and compassion. He is the master. He is the perfect one who born to this world. Let us take a moment in veneration, the Supreme Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming here today. It's lovely to meet you again. So, we have been discussing about your life throughout this series. Now, throughout this series, we have been discussing the true side of your life that you never ever thought in that way. I don't know whether you believe or not. That is, the sansaric journey is very dangerous. You might have this question, what is this sansaric journey means? So what is the sansaric journey? The sansaric journey means this is not our first life. Don't think that this is the first time that we meet together in this venue. We don't know, maybe another venue, but this is not the first time that we meet together. I know one thing, that is, you all, in one occasion, you were all either my fathers or my mothers, my brothers and my sisters, not in these lives, but past lives. This is the absolute truth. You don't have to believe what is the truth. You don't have to believe the truth in order to be that truth to be truth. Truth doesn't have a requirement that whether you believe or not. You can believe it or you don't have to believe it, but it doesn't matter. But truth is the truth is the truth. Because, ladies and gentlemen, through science, I was a scientist, I am still a scientist. Through science, we are studying about the world that we perceive. We are studying what's going on in the outside. We are studying what's happening in the other side of the world. We are studying what's happening in the Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, or other planets. All the planetary systems, we study them. Right? Isn't it? But we haven't looked at us. What's going on with here? Don't you think that is the first thing that you have to study? Before you're studying outside, you have to study about yourself, what's going on with you. But this is the first thing that we have to study, but we never studied that as well. This is the tragedy. If you're born as a human being, you're not an animal. I believe that these are human beings, isn't it? I can see human faces here. So if you are human beings, you know the human beings have a specific ability in their minds. What is that? That's to reflect about themselves. You know, the dog cannot do that. Your pet cannot do that. Reflect about him itself. But we have that ability to reflect about ourselves. We can think about what's going on with us. This is why you were born. Ladies and gentlemen, after eons and eons, you have spent so many lives without being a human being. We have been trapped in this samsaric journey. You know, Christianity, they're talking about hell and heaven. If God is correct, why that God has to create a hell and heaven? Let's say God created this world. Why God has to create hell and heaven? What do you think? Huh? Then somebody will be there, right? Somebody has to be there. In heaven, do you think the heaven is empty? Do you think the hell is empty? Not in the Christianity, all the other religions, all the other philosophies, they are talking about this. The people who do bad things will be born in... Sorry? Go to hell. Yeah, exactly. People who do bad things will go to hell. But the thing is that, okay, if there's a hell, let's say, okay, if there's a hell, then you will be born in hell. When are you going to come back again? Do you know that? Do you know when that will happen? No. According to the Buddha mentioned this. It's a very rare chance to be a human being, be born as a human being. It's the very rarest chance to become a human being. In Dhammapada it says, Kiccho manussa patilabho, Kiccam machchana jeevitam, Kiccho saddhamma savanam, Kiccho buddhanupado. Kiccho manussa patilabho. That means to become a human being. It's a very rarest opportunity to become a human being. To be born as a human being. Ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes. You have that opportunity right now. What do you think? Are you a human being? Of course. Okay. Then he's saying, Kiccang machchana jeevitam. Even though you become a human being, to have that life until the death, at least 30, 40, 50, 60 years of that human life, is also very rarest opportunity. Can you imagine? So many abortions are there. So many kids are dying in the delivery, during the delivery. There are so many people die. At this moment, while you're listening to this, there are two persons leave this world per second. That is the death rate. Minimum 2 persons leave this world at this second. Another 2, but you are still living. Don't you think you have this valuable opportunity? You have this valuable opportunity. You are using that valuable opportunity. Isn't it? You are using that valuable opportunity. This breath that you're breathing right now, it won't come back to you again. You can't catch this. You can't stop this. You can't stop passing this time. You can't keep that time with you. If you feel the gravity that what I feel right now, you won't play with your life like this. Ladies and gentlemen, you all are playing your life. You have a valuable opportunity, valuable life, and you're playing with it. There's one gentleman who went to Africa, and in one occasion, in search of diamonds. And he found some kids are playing with a thing like marble. You know what he did? He asked them, if I give you candy, would you give these marbles to me? The kids were playing with marbles like stones. Then he said, okay, if I give you candy, would you give this to me? The kids was, because kids doesn't know that these are diamonds, ladies and gentlemen. And they handed over that stones, diamonds, for what? For candy. The kid doesn't have an idea that what they have been playing is what? Very precious, very valuable thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you also like that kid. Who is that man? It's a Buddha who showed us that what your life is, the life that you are living right now is very valuable. But the thing is, when you're born, you don't have a life plan, don't you think so? Do you have a life plan? Do you have a purpose of your life? Of course you have a purpose of your life, ladies and gentlemen, but the thing is, that purpose, right? Even though you achieve that purpose, what will happen? Are you going to find eternal happiness? Are you going to end this game? No. You're not going to end this game. What you will do is just continue this game again and again and again. You know that in our life, back in the days, in our samsaric journey, we born as a human being. But that life, we didn't find this true meaning of this life. That's why we born again like this. If you don't find the true meaning of your life right now, using this life, then you will be born again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are playing a game without knowing the rules. This is very interesting. We are playing a game without knowing the rules, but when you come across the rules and regulations of this game, that is the end of the game. You don't have to play after you know the game rules of the game. When you understand the rules of the game, that is the end of the game. This is what Buddha has found. That's why people say ignorance is bliss. What do you think? Ignorance is bliss? Ignorance is bliss or not? People say ignorance is bliss. But ladies and gentlemen, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Because of ignorance, you are living like this. Because of ignorance that you are spending your life like this. Because of ignorance, you will be born again. The major problem, it doesn't matter with one might say that it's okay to be born again. It's really good, right? Of course, if you know what you have stored back in the past lives, then you will be afraid to be born again. Why? Here I am going to introduce something. The karmic strand. We have been discussing about this, the karmic concept. I told you that whatever that you have done in the past will come back to you. Isn't it? Whatever the things that you have done in the past will come back to you. And I mentioned whatever in the previous episodes, I remember I mentioned that when you push against a wall, what will happen? There will be a reaction. As Newton found, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. There will be a reaction. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, whatever the action that you perform right now will come back to you. If you know that the results of this action, you have to face it. If you know that, then whatever the action that you do in your life, you will think twice, isn't it? Before you doing any action, you will think twice. You will think twice before you commit that action. Why? Because definitely you are going to receive the consequences from this. But the thing is, when you live your life, are you thinking, whether I will get a reaction for this? No. You're thinking of what? This is what I feel. Let's do it. So this is what I want to introduce to you, that there's an energy store. It's like a battery. This battery is providing energy to the mind. Mind is functioning because of this battery. The energy that battery is providing that energy to the mind in order to function the mind. Whatever the action, whatever the decision that this mind is taking, depends on the decision that mind is taking. What happens? This energy will store back again. This is a cycle, ladies and gentlemen. You can see that in our nature, in our environment, there are a lot of cycles. Water cycle, carbon dioxide cycle, oxygen cycle, and even in your body, the blood circulation system is there. It's also recycle. So that means this is the nature of nature. What? There are cycles. Even your mental patterns, the living beings also have this cycle. This is the cycle of living beings. Energy stores, and this energy will drive these minding moments. Whatever the functionality of the mind is driven by this energy, and depends on the situation, depends on the action, whatever the things that you're doing, it will store back that energy into the cloud, whatever this energy storage. Do you understand this? Then, whatever the situation this mind has to face is dependent on whatever the energy, the type of energy that is coming from this storage, isn't it? Have you murdered anyone today, this life? Did you kill anybody this life? Okay, it's good. Of course, I didn't ask humans, right? But did you kill any animals? Your mosquitoes? How many times you killed mosquitoes? Countless, right? Countless sentient beings has passed away because of what? Because of you. When you commit in that kind of activity, then what will happen? It stores the negative energy in the storage. Then what will happen? It will bring suffering to the mind. It will bring that in the future, this energy will come back to you. You know what? If you kill one mosquito, you'll be born as a mosquito for 1,000 years. Right? Now think about it, just for sake. I don't know. You can't actually judge the karmic. There's no the measurement for that, right? There's no instrument to check your karmic strength. But what I'm asking is, imagine in your next life, are you really brave enough to? Do you really brave enough to face the next life? What do you think? Because once you die, once you pass away, what will happen? Because of the mosquito, that you kill mosquito, you will be born as a mosquito. Are you happy to take this risk? No? But you have to take that risk, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter. You have to face this music. Whatever the action that you have committed, you have to face this. You have to face it. This is the danger in this samsaric journey, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this is the danger in this samsaric journey. You don't know what you have stored, in the past lives. How many living beings you executed, you killed in your past lives. Do you know? Billions and trillions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you understand this, you'll be very careful to live. Don't die. Be very careful when you're in your life. Why? When you pass away from this life, we don't know what will happen to you. I'm telling you that this is the ground. This is the very reason that we have to study what Buddha has uttered. Buddha has found to this world. Because when you study this, we can escape from this trap. I have a solution as well. We all have a solution. But the thing is, you close your eyes and you don't spend your time to what? To explore this solution. Instead, you exploring this solution, you jump into the bandwagon and you do whatever the action that you've been doing. Eating, drinking, sleeping, and having sex. Come on. See, animals, you can see the animal kingdom, animalia. All the animals also doing what? Everybody is doing what? Eating, drinking, sleeping, and having sex. Except eating, drinking, sleeping, you are doing meetings. Isn't it? Eating, drinking, sleeping, meeting, and having sex. Right? You have a lot of meetings, you have a lot of commitments, you have meetings, busy schedule, and at the end of the day, what we will do? Sleeping and having sex, and that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, please understand this. This is the danger that you have to face. If you know this, right? The thing is, like, you might ask me, can you prove that to me? But shall I ask you a question? The things that you believe at this moment, have you really proved? Have you done your research and believed, or you just start to believe that? You just started to believe that. For example, how do you know your mother is your mother? Did you do the research? Have you done the research? Have you done the DNA test and confirmed that this is your mother? Or you just believe? Then you can ask me to prove this. But if something that I cannot prove to you, you can prove to yourself by how? Pass away. When you die, right? You can prove to yourself. Yes, I am still here. The thing is, we had a deep sleep for 10 months in a womb. Because of that, now we forgot what we have been doing back then. That is the problem we have. Inside your mom, in that womb, right? As a baby, we have slept for 10 months. For example, if you sleep for 2 to 3 days, let's say you slept for 2 days, for example, because of something because of your disease or something, you slept for 2 days continuously. When you wake up, you will feel like you are like in an alien situation. Have you had this experience? Right? If you sleep longer, then what happens? Is it morning or night? Morning, night. What happened? Where am I? You have this experience, right? This is something similar. We erase the memories and we refresh the memories and we born as a human being, and then there are two faces very familiar, right? It came again and again. Then you started to believe what? This is mother. Then they say mother, say mother, say mother. This is father, father. Then you start, father. Come on, you didn't do you didn't do any research to prove that, isn't it? So then I don't have to prove this to you, ladies and gentlemen. You can prove to yourself.
Just after recovering from fainting.
But
Just after recovering from fainting attack.
yes, just after recovering from fainting attack, then you don't know what happened to you. Exactly. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, there's a hell. There are heaven. Different planes of heaven. You can start, you don't have to believe that. Just keep that inside and always be on the safe side. You can say, okay, there are no hell, there are no heaven. Okay, you can commit any action. But the thing is, let's say, by any chance, if there's a hell, whatever the action that you commit, you have to face it. Then what will happen? It's always better to be safe side, isn't it? Okay, so come to safe side. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 years ago, I didn't believe heaven. I didn't believe in hell. I wanted to become a scientist. And that's why I did a PhD, that's why I did chemistry, and I worked as a research fellow, research scientist. When you're working as a research scientist, you don't have to believe in heaven and hell. Of course, yes, of course. I didn't believe that. But the thing is, then after I found my teacher opened my eyes, and then he asked, this is the question he asked. Do you see all the spectrum of electromagnetic radiation? Can we see that? No, we only see what? Limited range. Can you say that you don't, let's say the thing that you can't see, can you say it's not there? We don't know. It's there or not. Is it there or is it not there? Can you say that? Can you come to decision? No, because there's no ground to come to that decision. Because why? Because you can't see that. Isn't it? You cannot see that. You cannot see whether it's there or not. For example, ghosts. Some people say ghosts are there, some people say ghosts are not there. Okay, can you say yes or no? No, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing. You can't say no, you can't say yes as well. Why? Because you can't see. If there's something that you can't, if there's something that is not tangible, you cannot come to a judgment that is not there or that is there. Then you have to ask from somebody who is tangible with those realms, those eras. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go and find these sages who has started a spiritual life, who has started seeking what is the truth of this world, to find out what that you cannot perceive, what you cannot see, intangible to you. That's what Buddha has found, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Dhamma. I'm talking about the Dhamma. This is the wisdom that we receive from all these throughout these 2,500 years, from teacher to student, teachers to student. This wisdom is now with us. It disseminates through these teachers and student lineage. Now we have that. It's high time, ladies and gentlemen. You have to start this journey. You have to think about this. Remember, this sansaric journey is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Think about, if you are not ready to die, if you are not ready to die, please work on that. Or either you can go blind eyes and you can start your journey. But this is not big. I mean, I have done this before as well, right? You have done that. You have faced this situation before as well, like previous lives. So, okay, without thinking about that, you can face the music again. But the thing is, if you want to escape from this trap, you have to come through this gate that we are in. This is the only salvation. This is the only path to Nibbana. This is the only path to salvation. Reflect on this. We want to brighten up your life, ladies and gentlemen. We want to brighten up your lives. Enlightenment is not something far away, ladies and gentlemen. You can achieve something, that enlightenment, through this life, in this life. If you start this journey, you can achieve that. Don't think that you have to achieve in next life. No, you can achieve that. Buddha has found something very practical. If you follow the Buddha, if you are a true student of the Buddha, you don't have to become a Buddhist. I told you, you don't have to you don't have to worship Buddha. But if you follow his wisdom, then you will be able to liberate yourself from all the sufferings. So, ladies and gentlemen, please mindful to spend this life very usefully. Otherwise, if you spend your life uselessly, you will get another useless life back. What you give is what you get. When you get something, the action that you perform will store that energy back there. Then it will come back to you. We don't know what are the things that we stored back in our past lives. So be careful to face the next life. People are afraid of dying, right? People are afraid of dying. But I feel I have another thing. You should afraid of born again. You should be afraid of be born again. Because why? You don't know where you will be born again. This life is very smooth life for you. Sometimes you have bumpy rides, but sometimes it's smooth sailing. Isn't it? But we don't know next life. Who knows what will happen? Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future is not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Keep that in your mind. May the Noble Triple Gem bless you all.